Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel, Latina Plants. My name is Jackie. Today we're going to do some plant chores. So let's go ahead and get into that. But before we do, if you like plant chore videos like this, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not a subscriber already. Also click on that bell to get notified every time I upload a video. Let's go do some plant chores.
So I thought I would start this plant chore video with a pan of the plant room just to show you what I'm working with and everything that needs to be cleaned up and put away. It's not too messy. I just have a lot of things out that I kind of just brought in and put down and never put away. So we're going to clean this up before we start taking care of the plants in this video. So yeah, let's get started. So first thing first, I'm going to go into my plant room closet and we're going to start putting some things away. Here I'm dumping out some soil that I want to reuse into this small bin. And I will treat this soil on a later date to make sure that it's usable, although the plants were good in that soil, so there shouldn't be anything harmful in there. I do kind of just put everything away in this closet where I could fit it because I did need to, on a different day, reorganize the entire closet. I did not film that, but yeah, I'm putting away some nursery pots and some trays and things like that. And now trying to clean the surface of my table here. These two plants, I did not show you guys that I picked them up. This is the anthurium chocolate that I was looking for. I got them on clearance. I forget what I paid for them, but yeah, I picked up the chocolate and the red one as well. I will be sharing the repot of those two in a future video, so stay tuned for that. I also wanted to show you that I picked up some lechuzapan, and excuse how rough I look, you guys. I just wanted to film this and take you guys along with me. Here I'm just breaking down some of the cardboard boxes that I get packages in. I like to reuse them to ship any of the plants that I sell. And just using this X-OXO knife to cut them open and flatten them out so I can put them away in my closet. And also some of my packing supplies, I had them out, and some party ribbon because we just celebrated my son's birthday in August. And here I'm just putting my little tripod away, some paperwork, and just trying to organize things and clear things out, put everything in its place. And also put together some of the pots and things that I need to give a good wash and wipe down. So I'm going to go ahead and put that away in my utility room, laundry room. Wiping down, trying to get any of the soil and stuff off the table, dumping everything to that larger trash can, and now just putting things away into my closet that don't need to be out. A lot of these packing materials I reuse. And now I'm going to show you a pan around the room. I did not clean the floors because I'm going to do some planty things, and I decided to clean the floors the next day, but for this day, everything was nice and tidied up and looking good. Here I'm just showing you that there is debris on the floor, but I do clean it up the next day. And my tripod with my ring light. And so here I'm doing my water, adding some fertilizer, the Schultz indoor fertilizer to my watering jug to get started on watering some plants, and of course I spilled some. So I just go around with my skewer and I check all of my plants. I like to start here by the window because these plants get a lot of bright indirect light, and so they typically dry out sooner than all my other plants in the room. Again, going in and just checking with my skewer. As you can see, there's a lot of leaf drops on the floor that will be cleaned again on a separate time. I did not film that part, but I did clean the floors. The reason that I tidy up my room before I start my watering is because I just cannot work with a messy room. I have to have it nice and neat and organized before I go ahead and do my plant chores. And so just going around and watering the plants. Right here, I'm watering my ficus, not my ficus, my Monstera Thai Constellation. She's growing beautifully, you guys. I think she's gonna need an up pot soon. And here I have my Anthurium. She looks beautiful. And she has a new leaf coming. Super excited. This is the crystallinum that I picked up from Canopy Plant Co. that you guys have seen me unbox. It came in like a little 1-inch or 2-inch pot. And this is the Magnificum that I picked up. She also needs a repot. Her roots are coming out the bottom. And here is the Radicans. I don't know if this is a Radicans crossed with Luxurians. I just know that the tag said Radicans. And those are the 2 Anthuriums I picked up from the nursery not too long ago. And a lot of these plants here get bright indirect light or medium indirect light, so they don't dry out as fast as the other plants in front of the window. And here I'm just pulling off some yellowing leaves. These leaves are yellow not from underwatering or overwatering, but because they're older leaves. They are the leaves that I propagated. And so they shot out vines and the older leaves are starting to die off. My OG Monstera is not looking too good. She has a lot of yellow leaves. I'm not sure if that's from overwatering or underwatering. Most of the time when I check her, she is completely dry, so I have a feeling it's from underwatering. I'm thinking of chopping her back. And here, you guys, are all of my propagations that are in soil already and have rooted, and I'm just going ahead and watering them. As you can see, this is mostly ficus on here with a couple of plants in perlite. That ZZ I just broke off accidentally, so I decided to propagate it. My lipstick plant, some Monstera Peru, Pink Princess, and the Hoyabella. They're all in perlite. I'm panning over to this side of the room and these trellises. I have some more ficus propagations. Let me know if you guys are interested in these plants. I will be posting them on PalmStreet. And here I was just watering that pot of soil, hoping that I could bring that plant back, but it did not come back. But that's okay. That was the lipstick plant that she just was not very healthy. I have been struggling with her for quite a few years. And then these are all of my begonia propagations. I could totally put these in a dome or in a tray with a dome, but I decided to just put them on this trellis and see if they could still root. All of them are nicely rooted, which is why I am watering them in. I know that the leaves look floppy, but they are rooted and they're shooting out new growth. I'm not worried about the leaves that are floppy. I will probably take those off once the new shoots come out completely. And some of these have already perked up and had signs of new growth, so really happy about that. This philodendron micans that you're not seeing right now, but it's fully rooted and the roots are coming out the bottom of this cup. I actually do repot this plant after this video into a larger pot to accommodate all her roots. And she's doing great and trailing. Once I think she looks good, I will also list her on PalmStreet. All of these begonias I'll be listing on PalmStreet and things like that. I did rearrange this trellis here with the pink princess off camera. I took off all of the plants that are in my collection, my personal plants, because I kind of want these trellises to just be propagations, a place where I can put the propagations while they're waiting to root and be ready to be put up for sale. So just checking on all of the plants on here and seeing who needs watering and who doesn't. And the reason that I decided to use these shelves for propagations is because it's easier for me to keep an eye on them. And I like to keep my plants separate from the propagations, and since I was using it for propagation so much, I decided to take my personal plants off of there. Some of these plants that you see me looking at that I'm not putting back on the trellis, I am actually going to be treating them for spider mites later on in this video, so stay tuned. We'll be doing that together. These couple plants I have in pawn and they've been doing great. I've been wanting to do a video to update you guys on the plants that I've transferred to pawn to give you an idea of how they're doing and how I'm treating them. This begonia I got from my friend, and yeah, she gave me a cutting and it's rooted well in pawn. She's looking beautiful with new shoots. Love, love, love that begonia. She is doing so good in pawn. And so now we're going to work on this bottom shelf here. This is my Tradescanthia albiflora. She definitely needs an up pot. I believe I up potted her in the spring from a 3-inch to a 4.5-inch pot, and she's already pretty much outgrown that pot. And yeah, as well as this philodendron silver stripe needs an up pot as well. She is growing really beautifully. I picked her up on Canopy Plant Co as well, so you can see the tag there. I do have some cuttings and plants available of her on PalmStreet if you guys are interested. And now checking out my Tradescanthia here. I don't know if this is the baby bunny bellies or the teddy bear vine. And this one here is called the Black Pagoda lipstick plant. I love her for her leaves, not so much her blooms. And this one here trailing is called the Gracilis lipstick plant. She's really cute, but I find that she's not super easy to care for, and I've never gotten her to bloom. I don't really know if she blooms or not, but she is a lipstick plant. Let me know down below in the comments if you have this plant and if she's bloomed for you before. And now let's work on doing some spider mite treatment. In my spray bottle, I have a mixture of water, neem oil, alcohol, hydrogen peroxide, and some Dr. Bronner's peppermint castile soap. And that's what I use to treat all my plants for spider mites as a preventative. There is one plant that I think had spider mites, so I will be showing you that towards the end of this. I'm just taking care of all the ones that I feel are okay first as a preventative, and then we will take a look at the plant that I think actually had spider mites. And I'm using a microfiber towel to do this, cutting off any leaves that I feel like are getting ready to go or have been just drooping for too long, to give the plant more energy to put out more leaves. This one here, I have in a mixture of pon and perlite. I do end up potting her. And I don't know if you guys find this satisfying, but I just love picking off the dry, crusty sheaths from these alocasias. So I'm doing that as well. Again, cleaning the leaves off and trying to make sure that I get the stem as well. And doing a really good scrubbing, but trying to be gentle with the leaves. I did end up cracking some of the leaves, but not too many, just because they were watered. I did water them off camera before I sat down to do the spider mite treatment. I like to wipe my surface as well after each plant, just to make sure if anything dropped when I sprayed, that I would get it like pest wise. So going ahead and cleaning all of my alocasias, taking a good look at them, seeing how they're doing. So far they're doing really good, you guys. After this treatment and cleaning, some of them, a lot of them I'd like to say, gave me new leaves. I was really happy and excited about that. And here I am using my tweezers for some of these sheaths to get in there without hurting the leaves. I don't get to pick all of it out because, yeah, some of the pieces were like too deep in there. And this alocasia is in pon, and she's doing great in her pon mix. And here is my silver dragon. I still have to transfer her to pon, but she's doing so great in the soil that I don't want to transfer her just yet. I did notice that I felt a couple bumps through the nursery pot, so I think that she has a lot of corms available, and so I'm trying to hold off on picking any more corms from my alocasias because I have a few alocasias on my shop on Plant Story that have not sold yet, and I'm just overwhelmed with a lot of plants, you guys, that I've propagated and posted for sale that have not sold yet. So yeah, if you're interested in any of these plants, go ahead and check out my PalmStreet. I think I'm pretty reasonable with my prices on the plants as well as shipping. So yeah, here's my Alocasia Black Velvet. She's doing such a great job just growing, being easy for me to care for. She is also in soil. I have not changed her to pond just yet. I do plan to eventually change her into pond, but I'm kind of afraid of my alocasias going into shock when I transfer them from soil to pond. And I really love this black velvet alocasia, which is why I haven't done the transfer just yet. I'm just afraid of losing her, even though I know she will probably have plenty of corms for me. I think I need to just do that one day. Maybe I'll do an alocasia corm hunting video one day for you guys and transfer into pond. This Calathea here, I forget what it's called. I think she might be the Rosiopicta or something like that. She is prone to spider mites, so I like to clean her leaves off at the same time as I do the alocasias. I did transfer her to pond, you guys, and she has been growing a lot better in pond and has been a lot happier. So if you're thinking of moving any of your alocasias to pond, I would definitely recommend it. They really love the moisture, so they're doing really well in pond for me. This one here, I need to transfer to pond because she keeps giving me yellow leaves and she is pretty thirsty, but sometimes she drinks up water faster than other times, which I think is just weird. Maybe it's because she's growing and I don't realize that she's having a growth spurt or something and she needs more water, but I've caught her a few times where she's been completely dry, not on purpose, of course. I try to stay up on my watering for my plants, but I find that she can also be a spider mite magnet. Calatheas do not like to dry out, and when they dry out, I feel like they call the pest. And since we're coming into the fall, well, we're in the fall season and coming into the winter season, I feel like that's when I get a kick of spider mites in my plants. So I am doing this to tackle them ahead of time before they have any outbreaks of spider mites. This Maranta here, I saved from a cutting. The actual plant that I had died. It was like on the struggle bus because she got hit by spider mites, and so she's one that I definitely want to stay up on the treatment for spider mites. I accidentally broke this piece off, so I decided to put it into the pond and see if it would root up on its own. It actually didn't survive, you guys. But out of all of the plants that I treated with this mix, I think that the thinner leaf plants like this Maranta, I forget what it's called, the Maranta, yeah, that one, as well as this alocasia here and the alocasia odora, seem to have not liked the mix and had some damage, even though I wiped them dry. But yeah, this non-variegated fried egg, which is Malixiana, I don't remember, but can you see the speckling on there? It kind of looks like dust. At first I thought it was just dusty and I needed to clean them because she's a velvety leaf, and you know, velvety leaves can collect dust. I didn't see any webbing, so at first I didn't think that it had any spider mites. But when I got closer to her and just stared at the specks, I did see some of the specks moving, which normally I never see the spider mites with the naked eye. Normally I need to see it with my scope, and this time I could see some of the little specks moving, and so I was like, oh yeah, today is plant chores day. We are going to need to spray down all of these alocasias, and they were all on the same shelves, so I said, let's clean them up and make sure that we can tackle this before it gets out of hand. Again, I am very vigilant with all of my plants. I make sure that I give them a look over on a daily basis, whether it's early in the morning or at night or midday, but I make sure that I give them a look over every day. Usually I will look at all of my plants as I drink my morning coffee. So yeah, I go around my kitchen and make sure that all the plants are good there, because some of the plants that I'm selling on shelves on my kitchen, in my kitchen, as well as a shelf that I have in my living room. And I have 2 plant rooms now. I still have to share the video and edit the video of my second plant room, but I will share that with you guys. Just be patient with me, please. I have a lot of videos in line for you. I hope you enjoyed this clean with me plant chores kind of video. And so here, after I clean the leaves, I just wanted to show you the damage that you could see on the alocasia from the spider mite. So you can see some damage on the tip there and on the top, and some more damage here on one spot. And so this is the kind of damage that you will see on your plants that have spider mites. And yeah, if your plant looks super dusty, like this one looks dusty even though I wiped it down, that is actual damage from spider mites, you guys. See all those little spots? That's all from spider mites. They literally suck the sap out of your plants and lay their eggs on like the veining of your plant, the underside. And I had no webbing whatsoever on any of these plants, but you could totally see that there were spider mites present. And so now we're going to go ahead and pan on over to the shelf, and we're going to put all these alocasias back on their shelves. I'm just giving the plant a look over. I don't know why I stopped to show you every single one when you already saw them as I was cleaning them, but yeah. I try to arrange them so that the leaves are not touching each other so much, but for the most part, they really do touch each other. And you know, alocasias move towards the light, so they do end up moving around and touching each other. I use upside down pots, and I also create some like little stands for them to raise them up, as well as I've picked up some cute little white cupcake ceramic holders that I found a long time at Target in Target's Dollar Spot. And so just to create some room and interest, I do like to do different levels. This one here is in Pawn and Fluval because she did not take well to the repot. And this one here is in Pawn, and she just loves her pawn and is growing so nicely. And now we're going to move on to the second shelf here. Everything on top was already watered, and I'm going ahead and watering these plants here, the Ficii and the Carnosa Freckled Splash. These will also be posted, you guys, on my PalmStreet. If you're interested in any of these plants that I have propagated or created to share with you guys, this Hoya Rosita will also be available. and she's in pawn. This Hoya Rosita is also in pawn. I believe she's in pawn and perlite because I was like running out of perlite or a pawn. So I mixed my perlite in with it. This Curtitii will also be on PalmStreet. I haven't listed her yet because I'm looking for some more growth from her. This Carnosa Freckled Splash. I might keep that one, I'm not sure. And I don't know if you guys remember when I picked up the basket of this Peperomia. I think it's called Red Log. I do not like that plant. Here's the Parviflora. She's doing great, you guys, with new growth. Her leaves are nice and firm. And then the Alocasia. I'm sorry, not Alocasia. Australis. And the Crimson Queen here. These are all available on my PalmStreet. I am selling it with these cute little clear cups. No drainage, pawn, and a 3D printed trellis all together for you guys. I have several of the Crimson Princess, several of the Crimson Queen, and the Australis that should be on my PalmStreet. If there is a plant that you guys that I have that you guys don't see on PalmStreet, please feel free to ask me anything that you're looking for that I may have in my collection. Here is the Elliptica, you guys. She's doing much better in the perlite and fluval. I'm just waiting for her to get a little bit more roots. This Hoya Rosita was already transferred from the perlite and fluval, as well as this one into pawn, and they will both be listed on my PalmStreet as well. And now I'm going to water in all of these cute little plants that I did a swap with Mona Plant Therapy here on YouTube. Yeah. I will also be sharing the repot of them, you guys. They are long overdue. I've had them for almost a year now and have not repotted them. They are still in the small cups of fluval. That just goes to show you guys that Hoyas can live root bound in whatever substrate you put them in for a very long time. And I thought this was just really nice and aesthetic to watch the water level on these. I like to do these with no drainage. I know some people don't like the no drainage idea with these kinds of plants, but it has been working well for me. And this is the mini pixie, you guys. It was like a 2-leaf cutting that I received with the plant that Mona gifted me from Rare Herbs Garden. I think it's called Rare Herbs Garden. Yeah, and they're doing great. She even bloomed, you guys. I will have to show you a picture of the mini pixie bloom. She's so cute. She was kind of like a citrus smell, I think. I will put in a picture if I can find it. And lastly, you guys, I'm going to water in my African violet propagations. I'm so sorry that this part looks so grainy. I really don't know why. But they're in little shot cups and I put holes on the bottom. I like to fill up this watering can completely up to the very, very top. And I put the entire watering can in the tray, you guys. And all of my African violets will water from the bottom up. And that has been working for me really well. I hope you guys enjoyed this little plant chores video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not a subscriber already, and I'll check you guys out on my next video. Bye!